The Assembly is back in session. Members, we have a number of guests with us today in the Assembly. Ms. Gaines. Ms. Gaines, you are recognized. Ms. Gaines is going to move to Mr. Mathis's desk for her special guest introduction today. Ms. Gaines, from Mr. Mathis' desk, you are recognized. Members, please give your attention to Ms. Gaines. Ms. Gaines, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Please join me in welcoming my friends Mike and Madeline Owen. They are constituents of mine from Rocklin, California. They are here to watch and observe our session in action.
Mr. Eduardo Garcia, you are recognized. You have a special guest today.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Let me preface my introduction by saying that it is an honor to serve in this legislature and with every single one of you. As you know, those of you who have children, Monday through Thursday, we are here, they are there in the district attending school, different types of events, and every so often we don't get an opportunity to be at those particular events. But this afternoon, I have the honor and privilege to introduce my son, Julian Garcia. He is 12 years old. He is a middle school student at Desert Ridge School in the beautiful city of Indio, California. And just something unique about Julian, not only is he a great big brother to Ella from Coachella, his little sister, he is almost a straight A student. He's got a B+ in one class. And lastly, he has a real mean crossover. He's an awesome little basketball player. It's great to have him here today. He'll be here with me this week, and I want to tell him how proud I am of him here in front of every single one of you, and how much I love him for all the work that he does, and help me welcome him to the California State Assembly.
Okay, members, we are moving to business on the daily file. Moving to business on the daily file. Second reading. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1696 with amendments and Assembly Bill 1769 with amendments.
All bills will be deemed read and amendments deemed adopted. Members, we are moving to the file. File items 3 through 10, pass and retain. We've already dispensed with file item 11. We are moving to file item number 12. It's AB 1597 by Mr. Stone. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1597 by Assemblymember Mark Stone and Aqualate the County Jails.
Mr. Stone, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members, the last couple of years I've been trying to work at the state level about credit earning programs, reducing recidivism, giving institutions the opportunity to work with the inmates and provide incentives to reduce recidivism and get people into those programs. Through that conversation, talking with the local sheriffs, they would like similar opportunities themselves. And this is a bill before you that is sponsored by the LA County Sheriff and supported by the sheriffs across the state because it would be a voluntary program that sheriffs could opt into and allow them to create an incentive program to get some of their inmates into appropriate programming, and it's programming like vocational training, educational training, anger management, the things that the inmates need in order to be successful once they get out. With that, they could give them up to 6 weeks of credit against their time served. And what's unique about this program is it also allows them to work with the pretrial population that are in their jails, giving them the educational opportunities they need, helping to solve the issues that brought them to the jail in the first place, thereby significantly reducing the recidivism rates in those counties. This is a bill that has no opposition, and I respectfully request an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 45, noes 15. Measure passes. File items 13 through 16, pass and retain. We're moving to file item number 17. File item number 17, H.R. 40. Clerk will read.
House Resolution 40 by Assemblymember Eggman and others relative to Social Work Month.
Mr. Thurman, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I rise to present H.R. 40, which is a resolution that I am a joint author with Assemblymember Eggman. It recognizes that March is National Social Worker Month, and we want to acknowledge the contributions of social workers to the great state of California. There are over 650,000 social workers in our country, 65,000 social workers in California, 7,500 graduate students in social work programs, 22 of those programs here in California. As many of you know, social workers work on the spectrum of life from birth to end of life. And in my social work career, I've actually probably held almost every job in the social work profession, which I'm honored to have done, working with foster youth, working with people with developmental disabilities, working with seniors, working in hospice. Social workers also work in our schools and work with at-risk youth and work in healthcare services. We've had some amazing social workers who are MSWs and social workers, in addition to Assemblymember Eggman and myself. We've also had our congressman from California, Ron Dellums, who was in the Social Worker Hall of Fame and who has served in this House, a former Senator, now Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Another current social worker is the president of the United Farm Workers, Arturo Rodriguez, who holds a master's in social work. We thank our social workers for what they do for the least among us, for those who are in poverty, for those who need assistance. And we have a few social workers here in the rear of the chamber who I would like to acknowledge, starting first with the Executive Director of the California Association of Social Workers, Mr. Jan Lee Wong, who is here. We also have a number, Mr. Jan Lee Wong, thank you, sir. We also have a number of MSW students who are prepared to graduate and soon serve, and they are Sarah Linder, who's getting her MSW at Sacramento State, Mari Erlinson, who's also an MSW candidate at Sacramento State, Alicia Valen, who is a Bachelor of Social Worker student at Eastern New Mexico University, and this MSW candidate deserves all kind of recognition because she has to serve in my office, Karina Porcayo, who is an MSW student at Sac State. We're honored to have them all. Please help me in welcoming them.
If our guests could remain in the back of the chambers, we're in the midst of discussion on a resolution. If we could hold on pictures, Mr. Thurmond, you may proceed on the resolution.
With that, Mr. Speaker, I simply ask that you open the first roll for a vote, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote on this measure.
Thank you, Mr. Thurmond. Seeing no discussion on this item, Mr. Thurmond's asking the first roll be open for co-authors, members on the resolution. Clerk will open the roll. All members wishing to add as co-authors on the resolution. There are 68 co-authors added without objection. We may take a voice vote on the resolution. All those in favor say aye. I oppose say nay. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Members, let's welcome our special guests to the floor of the Assembly today. Members, continuing briefly with guest introduction, Mr. Lowe, you have a guest with us in the Assembly today. You are recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I am proud to introduce to you Dr. Esther Kwok, a constituent in Silicon Valley. Until 3 years ago, Dr. Kwok had never considered an organ donation. Dr. Kwok was confronted with a very personal dilemma, both personal and professional, when a colleague and the son of one of her elderly patients simultaneously required a kidney transplant, in response to which, after much reflection and prayer, she chose to help by donating her very own kidney as part of what was eventually a 12-person organ donation chain that saved, among others, her elderly patient's son. I would like to commend Dr. Esther Kwok, a member of the California Medical Association, for her selfless dedication to work on her parents. On behalf of myself and the Chamber, I would like to present a resolution to Dr. Esther Kwok. Please join me in welcoming our guest, Dr. Esther Kwok, and her husband, Dr. Robert Kwok, a dedicated pediatrician.
Okay, members, we are back on the file. File items 18 through 20 pass and retain. On the Senate third reading file, we're moving to file item number 21. That's SB 209. The clerk will read.
Senate Bill 209 by Senator Pavley, enaculating the surface mining.
Mr. Gray on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, SB 209 by Senator Pavley is double joined to my bill, AB 1142. This is a major update of the state's surface mining laws. I would respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who wish to vote. All members vote who wish to vote. All members vote who wish to vote. The clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 50, noes 16. Measure passes. We are moving to consent calendar. Does any member wish to remove an item from the consent calendar? Seeing and hearing none, the clerk will read the second-day consent calendar.
Assembly Bill 1734 by Assemblymember Olbanolte and others, enaculating the mining.
With that, the clerk will open the roll on the consent calendar. On the second-day consent calendar, all members vote who wish to vote. All members vote who wish to vote. This is consent calendar, members. All members vote who wish to vote. The clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 72, no 0. The consent calendar is adopted. Clerk will read the remaining bills on the second-day consent calendar.
Assembly Bill 1725.
Ayes 72, no 0.
Assembly Bill 1798.
Ayes 72, no 0.
And Assembly Bill 1906.
Ayes 72, noes 0. Members, we are moving to announcements and adjournments in memory. Members, if we could have you take your seats, please. Members, a brief reminder that the Rules Committee will be meeting in the Rules Committee room upon adjournment. That's Rules Committee upon adjournment. Members, we're moving to adjournments in memory. Mr. Cooley. Mr. Cooley, you are recognized for your adjournment in memory.
Colleagues, I rise today to adjourn in the memory of Peter Jeeves. He is a proud father, a grandfather, which I identify with, and a talented architect here in the Sacramento region. Peter was born in New York, but most of his life was spent here in California, practicing his craft, serving his community. He did his studies at the University of Oregon. There he studied architecture and took that love of architecture and design to a virtuoso career here in the Sacramento region. He designed custom homes, medical facilities, with all the complexity of that in California as a seismic state, campuses, resorts, and restaurants. Peter loved his work, and he put his talents to good use in the community. For almost 30 years, he worked with youth and families here in Sacramento at the La Familia Counseling Center in the capital of our Golden State. Peter will be greatly missed. He was married for almost 35 years to his wife, Kit, who joins us today in the rear of the chambers. Right there. She put on her dark coat in honor of him. He is survived as well by his 4 children, Kelly, Dean, Christine, and Casey, as well as his grandchildren. So I know that for Kit and the family, the fact that this past week represented Easter was a source of some consolation to this family of deep faith. But nonetheless, it is their loss that we honor today as we adjourn in Peter Jeeves' memory. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cooley. Ms. Waldron, you are recognized for your adjournment in memory.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Today, I rise to adjourn in memory of Marine Staff Sergeant Louis F. Carden, who was only 27 years old, a field artilleryman and a constituent of my district. He graduated in 2006 from Chaparral High School in Temecula and enlisted just 2 days after. He served 3 tours in Afghanistan in addition to his recent tour in Iraq, and was assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 6th Marine Regiment, 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Sadly, on March 19th, he was killed by rocket fire in an attack on a base in Iraq. Carden has been remembered by friends and family members for his wit as well as his dedication to the Marines. He comes from a military family. In fact, both of his grandfathers served, and one of his brothers was in the Army. Carden was awarded several medals and citations during his 10 years of service. This was his 4th deployment. I ask the members of this House to join me as we adjourn in the memory of Marine Staff Sergeant Louis F. Carden. Thank you.
Members, please bring the names to the desk to be printed in the journal. All requests to adjourn in memory will be deemed read and printed in the journal. Members, a brief announcement. Today we are celebrating Assemblywoman Marie Waldron's birthday. Happy birthday, Ms. Waldron. Members, the session schedule is as follows. Tuesday, March 29th, check-in session. Wednesday, March 30th, check-in session. Thursday, March the 31st, floor session at 9 a.m. All other items remaining will be passed and retained. All motions shall be continued. Seeing and hearing no further business, I'm ready to entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Calderon moves and Ms. Waldron seconds that this House stands adjourned until Thursday, March 31st at 9 a.m. Quorum call is lifted.